Hello, developers, Biconauts, and whoever is watching this video. Welcome to the second episode of Building with Account Abstraction, where we are going to learn about bundlers on the context of ERC 4337. What are Biconomy bundlers, its methods, and important API methods that you can call. But before that, let me introduce myself. I am Venkatesh, the integrations engineer at Biconomy, and let's get started. So before that, let's first learn what are bundlers. And a bundler is basically a service which collects and bundles user ops and sends them to an EVM network, right? And one can make a JSON RPC call to a bundler client and get their user op added to the ERC4337 mempool, right? And this is how a bundler works. And let's talk about the Biconomy bundler. Now, the Biconomy bundler for the testnet network, you can get it from the dashboard, which is the Biconomy dashboard. But for mainnet, you'll have to contact the Biconomy team via Telegram, and we will provide you with a mainnet bundler URL for a specific chain. And bundler pays the gas fees initially, but it gets refunded by the entry point contract later on, right? And it watches the mempool for user ops and sends them on chain by calling the entry point contract. So this is how basically a Biconomy bundler works. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the bundler methods. The very first bundler method that we're going to talk about is estimate user op gas. And as its name suggests, the estimate user op gas is basically used for estimating the gas values for a user operation. So if a user operation doesn't have the gas limits or prices, you can use this method to get the gas values, and it primarily returns three values, which is pre-verification gas, verification gas limit, and call gas limit. Now what are those? So pre-verification gas is the gas overhead of the user op. Verification gas limit is the actual gas used by the validation of the user op, and call gas limit is value used by execution of the call data. Right now, then the second method comes as send user op. Now this method is responsible for submitting a user op to the user operation pool of the client, and the client is responsible for validating the user op before adding it to the pool. Okay, and this returns a user op hash if the user op is validated successfully and is valid, and its simulation has been already passed. Okay, so then it returns a user op hash, and using that user op hash you can do things. Right now, let's talk about the bundler API methods that we have got with us, which is the ETH estimate user operation gas. Now, if you don't want to use the estimate user op gas method from the SDK, you can basically make an API call to get the gas values. And this is used to estimate the gas values for a user op. Now, there is ETH underscore send user operation API method, which is used to submit a user operation object to the user operation pool of the bundler. Get user operation receipt to get the user operation receipt of the user op hash, and then we have get user operation by hash to get the user op using the user op hash that you get from the above thing. And then you can also get a chain ID using ETH underscore chain ID supported entry points, which actually returns an array of supported entry points on the bundler. And Biconomy get gas fee values is basically used to return the max fee per gas and max priority fee per gas. And Biconomy get user operation status is just to check the endpoint is responsible for returning the status of transaction hash associated with the user op hash. Right. So these are the important bundler API methods which are very crucial, which you can easily use, and you can get to know more about them via the Biconomy docs. And for the docs link, you can just go into the description. And now, tips and good to know points. Okay, so Biconomy Accounts SDK already includes the support for the bundler and paymaster, so you can directly start using it. You don't need to depend on any kind of bundler or paymaster, right? And if you want to use the Biconomy SDK with other smart accounts, then you can create a bundler instance using the previous methods as said. Right now, if you are not building in TypeScript or plan on using the APIs, you can do it as well, right? So if you are not so familiar with the TypeScript SDK, so you can just use the APIs to get the job done. So that's some tips and good to know points that you should know. And yeah, that's it for this video, and we are done with the second episode of building with account abstraction, and soon we're going to have the third episode of account abstraction, where we're going to talk about paymasters, the types of paymasters that we have in Biconomy, and how you can actually go and use the dashboard of Biconomy, and how you can set up a paymaster. We're going to talk about a lot of things in the third episode, so just tune us in and wait for the third episode. Until then, this is B Venkatesh signing out, and you have a good day. Thank you so much.